18th. This is a bit of a market recap. Um, Fascinating action today in GC. I had a couple profit targets that I threw up this morning for Friday for both silver and gold. Gold, we had a 13.0810 as well. I had snuck this in a 1306.80. The high of the day was 1306.90. That was drawn off the base to this high. Kind of fascinating how all that works out, isn't it? It's just math, and the algos follow it. On the daily candle, we put in a relatively ugly candle today. Whoop, come on. Sorry, been having some difficulties. I do this on my laptop. We'll go back here. Fundamentally, we went up. We front ran our profit target by 4 ticks, came back down, and this red line here, this support, we actually came and closed under. This is off my blog. I posted this earlier this morning, probably around 9 o'clock Eastern time. Silver, funny enough, our profit target was 1732, pardon me. And if we go and look, hopefully this is redrawn. Yeah, there's our ugly AU candle. Not pretty at all. If we go and look at silver, we hit our profit target to the tick. We had a 1732, which you probably saw in the earlier video, with a 1666 as the line in the sand on the daily. The close was 1685. Rough day for silver too, although silver is actually it's hanging in there, I guess is the best way to put it. I was king a lot today, not so much off of the currencies, the yen, the euro, Aussie, New Zealand, Cando, and the rest of them, as much as I was the ES, which had support at the 23s. We broke it, hit the 19s. We had a profit target at 17 and 13 for a reversal. Ugly day, very ugly day. And if you followed the market fairly closely, it just couldn't get it together. If you were watching the tape, buyers were frankly absent. We had some program-driven trading that took us into a former support level that failed in the 39s, 39.75, and we traded the range there. It's not encouraging. Let's put it that way. I think there's a whole lot of business left to be done. August for the last 4 years has been a rough month for the markets, and interesting for the metals. Something I'd like to mention that I got into trouble with today was CL, and I got a little distracted when I saw the run-up. Fascinating trading on this, though. How these pit pivots work. They work insanely well. And let me show you where they sit. So we've got the 55 right here, and we've got if this thing will cooperate. I'm sorry, I'm doing this on my laptop. I don't do this on my desktop, but let's get the 85. These are the old pit pivot numbers, and you'll see I ended up making a rather large blunder. I took a poke short at crude at the 48 level and thought, well, it'll pull back because it had so far extended over its 21 period moving average. It was looking ridiculous, but it never ever pulled back. Didn't even bother. What it did instead was traded sideways along the 55, then ran right up to the near the 8.5. And the closing minutes were a little creepy because I actually went long a couple CL contracts down here to get myself out of the box I was in here because I was very short QM into lunch, which is always a mistake on a Friday. Low volume, relatively low participation. And what happened was I fought this thing and fought this thing for 3 hours. And what happened was pretty interesting. I had a chance at exit here and didn't take it on my CL longs. Instead, just cleared the decks and came away with a very minor profit. But this was a lot of work to hedge this up. And this is something I often tell people, particularly it's difficult to do with silver because they'll close out the out months after hours. And the participation's pretty crappy. But with GC or QM, particularly, I'm sorry, QO. Come on. Right? If you're going to trade the futures or you want to hedge your physical metal, you can use out months, front month and out month, or continuous contract and in month to do so. And fundamentally, you put something on, it goes the wrong way, hedge up, and you can correct your F-ups. And I do this a lot. I make a lot of mistakes trading. I've got the discipline down, but sometimes I will chase. I'm tempted to chase, just like when you see a strong move and you see volume behind it and large lots moving, you would think that would be a solid indicator. But with this algo-driven market, it no longer is. But back to GC, I'm pretty bearish now. I am not bullish on GC here at all. I think we can run higher. Sure. Can we run higher? Sure. Absolutely, we can run higher. We could resolve this with the Dow dropping, dollar dropping, ES dropping. But fundamentally, today was an ugly, ugly day. And I don't think that's going to bode well for the bulls. Again, the line in the sand remains the 1272.70, and we did close under my daily line in the sand back here on gold, and that is down here. This red line down here, that is not this red line right here. Sorry, that is not good. So, not to spook anyone, but $600 silver, $2,000-$3,000 gold, those are months, if not years away. I do think we're going to see a turn in the market. I just cannot get bulled up about this thing. As many of you know, I have been bearish for quite a long time, since 2011. And I just honestly think all these pokes up and out are fakes. I'm growing increasingly. Let me rephrase that. The probability of the 975 tap for gold is reduced. I'm not going to say it is gone. I just think that or removed below a 50-50 probability. I think that remains open. I think we're going to have to watch the Dow. I think the Dow, as I have blogged about, has the potential to run up to 36 to 42,000. Using some basic calculus, it's where you land on doubling time, and I've indicated that it would be 2.82 years, well, 2.8 years from here to actually punch that thing up. Sounds crazy, I know. I wouldn't have ever believed it but I'm seeing a lot of things I've never seen before, so I'm learning as well, and continue to do so every day, and make mistakes. This is an incredibly difficult market to trade. I encourage everyone to hold gold and silver. Physical first, always. The miners, both, the GDX, GDXJ, HUI, and XAU held some fairly critical support. I am extraordinarily bearish on the miners. I just think they are a very poor investment. Granted, there are some that are well managed, highly profitable, have great reserves, but on balance, I would say 99% of them you can throw in the trash. I just don't think they're worth owning for anything other than a trade. So that concludes today's closing comments, and I hope you enjoyed them. If you do, please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend.